like totally had the judgment to ask for your help. So doesn't that make me awesome too?
Hello RPG fans, and welcome to this crash course on how to stay alive in SMT V. Let's start with combat. The key to mastering combat in SMT V is to consistently exploit demon elemental weaknesses, while at the same time protecting your own affinities. Each demon in the game, including the main protagonist, has an affinity to each of the 7 different elements. Knowing the specific weakness and strength of the demons is key in battle, as not only do the elements determine the amount of damage, but the amount of turns as well. Attacking a demon with a fire weakness has the dual effect of increasing the amount of damage, but it also provides your party with an additional turn. In practice, if each member of your party is able to exploit a weakness on their turn, the party could max out within 8 attacks before the enemy even gets a chance to fight back. Unfortunately, this also works for the other side, allowing the demons to get in extra hits if they happen to exploit your own team's weaknesses. It's also important to know the strengths of the opponents you'll be up against, as you'll lose turns if you happen to use an attack that the enemy can block or absorb. Another key to victory is taking advantage of the Mahatsui gauge. The Mahatsui meter will fill up during combat, and when it reaches maximum, your party will have the ability to employ a special attack. The default special that's available from the onset provides your party with guaranteed critical hits, with a wide assortment of other abilities that become unlocked from collecting talismans. These talismans are collected from completing side quests and are related to specific types of demons, so some experimentation will be needed to see which demons have access to these special abilities. One good strategy before heading into a fight with a particularly powerful demon is to max out the gauge before starting combat, giving you that extra edge early on. Finally, having a few different status altering abilities is always a good strategy. A demon that can poison is a good option when going up against an enemy with a lot of HP. Having abilities that lower the enemy's attack or reduce accuracy can buy you a few extra turns in battle, which could be the difference between victory and defeat. Having a healer in the party is also helpful in most cases. The battle is over if the Nahobino dies in combat, and since demons can't use items, having one available that can keep the young man alive will help avoid having to restart from the previous save. Fusing demons in SMT V is a pretty straightforward matter. It's just a matter of negotiating with the demons out into the wild, and then heading back to the world of shadows to fuse them together to see what you can come up with, what concoction you can find between the ones that you have in your party, or the ones that you've caught before and maybe are now in the compendium. The most important thing to remember is to not get attached to any of the demons in particular, because you're going to be fusing them all the time. You're never really going to have demons in your party for an extended period of time. It's just not very efficient to be leveling them up. This isn't, it's not Pokemon. You don't want to be building up these demons from scratch. You want to be fusing them all the time so that you can get the better moves, the stronger spells. So you're always looking around and seeing what you need. The other important thing when you're looking at demons is whatever enemies maybe that are in the future that are giving you a tough time, figuring out, okay, what's their most powerful attacks, and choosing a demon that has that attack or has an affinity against that attack so that they either can block it outright or maybe don't take as much damage. The other thing that you can do too is if you have, a particularly strong boss and you have a demon who absorbs the attacks of the boss, then it would be a good idea to use the essences to give them the skill that will be weak against that boss. One of the things about fusing demons though is you always have to be at the level of the demon. So if you find yourself a little bit under-leveled, the best trick in SMT V to build up levels quickly is to find the Midama out in the wild and use spyglasses on them. So these are those little ball-looking creatures. They come in different colors, and you often see them just kind of randomly out in the world. So what you want to do is to have a good inventory of spyglasses on at all time, and when you run into one, use the spyglass to use what their weakness is, because it is randomly selected. And then once you've learned what the weakness is, you can then attack it, and you'll get a huge amount of both experience and gold, which are both incredibly important when fusing demons, because some of the demons you'll probably be purchasing from the compendium from previous incarnations, so you'll want to have lots of money on hand as well. So now that we've learned the best practices for combat and demon fusing, it's time to put it to practice against the first boss of the main area at the beginning, the first area there, and that's Nuwa. So I can just tell you up front that she's pretty powerful, and her most powerful attack is a force attack. So what I've done here is I've just made my Nahobino immune to force attacks, so this will allow me to stay in the battle a little bit longer. And I know that Nuwa is weak against fire attacks. Again, this is because I've already done one match and got beaten pretty badly, and knew what was coming. So that's basically most of the strategy. A lot of the time is to the first time you take on a particularly strong demon, you'll probably die, but you'll learn a lot in that fight. So yeah, so I'm prepared to take on Nuwa, and we're ready to go. So I'm particularly fond of the all offense attack, so I'm going all out early on. I've got my party stacked with fire dealers. I've used the critical Magatsui skill, and now I'm just trying to reduce as much HP as early as possible and try to take her out before I end up dying. So as you can see, just going all out with the most powerful fire attacks that I had available. I actually went out and found a couple of the demons. This dragon demon and the jack-o'-lantern were both not in my party the first time I got thrashed, so I've added them in because of their fire affinity. And you also have to just worry about staying alive. So right here I've used a status to reduce her attack, so if I do get hit. Oh, and there's exactly why you want to have block for force, because now my party has just survived the first round, because with having a full block available, both turns are taken away because I have that affinity. So it allows a second phase of just throwing as much as I can at the boss here to try to get through them as quickly as possible. So just still continuing to use the fires as much as I can. And because each one is using a fire attack, I get 8 turns per round. So again, having the weakness going into a boss is particularly important. So here comes the next attack, and I got lucky again. There's 2 full rounds of the boss not being able to get any hits in. So I'm just gonna keep on attacking and try to win the day. And at this point, one of the things that is most concerned on my mind is magic, the magic meters of each one, because I'm going all out on the fire attacks. The magic meters are going down for each demon. So one of the important things is when you're out exploring the world, you'll come across the chakra drops. So those are extremely important in boss battles, so it's good to keep those in your inventory. Don't waste them on the out in the wild. Make sure you save those for the boss battles, because in a minute I'm gonna need to use those to keep up my fire attacks. So this is the first round where I'm actually getting hit. Oh, and there's a big attack coming, so I'm gonna have to be. In hindsight, I probably should have done something to mitigate the attack that is coming. Maybe having all the demons block or guard would have reduced the hit I'm about to take, but unfortunately I still had offense on my mind, so I'm still just going full out. And we're going to see the first mistake that I made in this boss battle coming up here.
This'll do.
So it's still going all out, trying to reduce that hit power. And here's the first mistake right here. So this is the most powerful attack. It's going to hit all the party members, and unfortunately in my case it took them all out. So like I said, really should have probably had them guard so that maybe they would survive the attack. But now I've got to adapt. I've lost all my fire dealers, so now I'm kind of looking around and trying to figure out who to bring up, and because again, another error on my end is I probably should have brought more people with fire attacks, or even at least use essences to provide some of my other demon stock with fire attacks. But luckily in my case, it's not gonna matter in the long run, because I do end up surviving this. But yeah, this is basically, I'm in scramble mode at this point, just trying to find a way to keep myself alive and still reduce the HP to win the day. And I actually knew that she had a block against electricity, but in the moment I forgot. So again, good thing to keep in mind. Strategies are very important against bosses, so sticking to that strategy is very important. So here I'm just trying to figure out some strong demons to bring up and to put in the party to survive, because I figure if I can at least get a full party out and maybe keep them alive, then I still have a critical hit round on the Magatsui that I can use. So I'm not using it now. If you're wondering why I haven't used that critical attacks yet, it's because I'm trying to get 4 party members out so that I can get a full 8 attacks when it's time to use it.
Let's go.
So here I was hoping to poison. Now it has worked before. In that particular case it didn't work, but poisoning isn't the worst idea to use on as well. So here I'm still trying to reduce HP while bringing my party members back out. Again, just showing how important it is to have the Nahobino have force immunity. And again, trying to figure out, okay, who should I bring up here? Because all my fire dealers have been taken out. I'm just trying to figure out who's going to be strong enough to help me get through this match. So I'm kind of trying to decide between whether attacking or staying on the defense to keep my people alive. Decided to use a status attack so that I can, if I do get hit again, maybe I'll survive another round. And then I brought in the High Pixie to heal my party. Again, I don't have very many demons left, gotta keep them alive. That worked out well in my favor, because had I not healed my Bicorn, they would not have survived. So now I'm using the critical attacks, and I'm going to get 8 attacks in. So this particular boss, again, doesn't actually need to go down to 0, and so it's just a matter of trying to get them down to the point where the battle is over, and I'm actually getting pretty close to that, and won. So hopefully this will help with the keeping you alive in SMT 5. And if you're looking for if you haven't purchased this yet and you're looking to get some ideas, you can head over to RPGFan.com to read the full review.